I let him go an hour ago. I'm still sitting here staring at my phone, trying to understand how something that felt so unbreakable ended so suddenly. Yesterday, he was my person. Today, I'm alone. And the worst part is, we never even got to touch. I ended up letting him go just an hour ago. Even saying that out loud feels unreal. It hasn't fully sunk in yet, but I can feel it slowly settling into my chest, heavy and quiet. I'm trying to be strong about it, telling myself this was the right thing to do, but everything still hurts. We met through a mutual friend and through a video game, of all places, right? It started small, just casual conversations, laughs, staying up late talking while playing, and then somehow, without either of us realizing when it happened, it became more. It was long distance from the very beginning, but at the time, that didn't scare me. If anything, it felt exciting, like something rare. We were together for a little over a year, and the truth is, the beginning wasn't perfect. We had a rough start, misunderstandings, insecurity, learning how to communicate through screens instead of real life. But we didn't run. We stayed. We grew. And over time, our love became strong, really strong. Strong in a way that made me believe there was no possible way anything could break us apart. We talked all the time. Constant messages, voice calls, video calls, falling asleep together on the phone. We reassured each other endlessly. We did everything a long-distance couple possibly could. We dreamed about meeting. We planned it out. We wanted it so badly. But life kept getting in the way. Money problems, responsibilities, timing. Neither of us could make the trip, so we made a promise instead. After I graduate university, I would go see him. That was the plan. That was what kept us going. And somehow, despite never having felt his touch, despite never having hugged him or held his hand, our love felt real, deep, intimate. When we argued, we apologized. We talked it through. When one of us was struggling, the other listened. We both deal with depression, and we were very aware that it wasn't either of our jobs to fix the other. So instead, we supported each other. We stayed present. We reminded each other we weren't alone. He would constantly assure me of our love, tell me I was important, tell me I mattered. And I did the same for him. Every day, I truly believed we were solid, and then nothing happened. That's what makes this hurt even more. One day he texted me and said he was going out to celebrate a friend's birthday. I wished him well, told him to have fun, like always. Everything was normal. Later that night, we called, and that's when something felt off. He told me he felt like the worst person ever, that he hated himself. I asked him what happened. He said nothing happened, just that he felt disgusting. I tried to comfort him, told him I was sorry he felt that way, asked if he needed anything from me. After that day, everything took a massive nosedive. The day before, we were in love, completely. The kind of love I thought would never budge. And then suddenly, it felt like it collapsed overnight. I asked him again if something happened at his friend's celebration. Again, he said no. He told me all he knew was that he sat there next to his friends and felt completely alone. That was when he said it. He said he desperately craved being able to hug me, to touch me, to feel someone physically there, and I understood that pain. I really did. So I tried to help. I suggested things, ways to cope with the touch deprivation, ways to ground himself, distractions, comfort techniques. He tried them, all of them, and then he told me they stopped working. The lack of physical touch started affecting him physically, mentally. His mental health plummeted, and I felt helpless. I apologized over and over, even though I knew it wasn't really my fault. I explained that even if I could catch a plane immediately, it would ruin my schooling. My university isn't credit-based, it's time-based. We have to clock in hours. Miss too many and you don't graduate. I also work. Missing days wasn't an option. That's when a small voice inside me whispered something I didn't want to hear. What if this doesn't work out? I pushed it away. I didn't want to believe it. After months of waiting, he finally got an appointment with a therapist. I clung to that. I told myself everything would work itself out, that this was just a rough patch. But he kept suffering, and I kept holding on. We got into a small fight one day, nothing huge, but emotions were high. And in a moment of anger, I said something I instantly regretted. I told him maybe he should just date someone else if all he wanted was to hold someone. That sentence haunted us. It stuck with him. He started spiraling, torn between staying with me and suffering through touch deprivation or letting us go and finding relief. And even then, I refused to give up. I tried to save us. I reassured him. I begged without begging. I held on tighter. Until today. Today, he told me he thinks he's not a good person to be with, that letting me go would be better for him, that it would help him grow. A lot was said after that, but honestly, it was just me stalling time, asking questions I already knew the answers to, trying to delay the inevitable. And eventually, I realized something. Love isn't supposed to hurt this way. So I told him I would let him go, if that's what would help him heal, if that's what he needed for his personal growth and health. And just like that, my relationship of over a year ended. I'm devastated by how sudden it all was. I feel lost, empty. I still love him. I still consider him my soulmate. And it feels unbearable imagining a future without him in it. But somewhere inside me, there's a small hope, a quiet one, that maybe one day, after we both grow, after life settles, we'll find each other again. Because the love we had was real. I know it was. Unfortunately, circumstances tore us apart. I truly wish him the best. I really do. I just wish things didn't end like this.